another video. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are doing another video about Moldavite. So this is kind of a part 2 of a little series, I guess. I already did a video talking about pairing Moldavite with different crystals and seeing what happens to the energy. And in the beginning of that video, I kind of explained how I come to all of these realizations. So if you want to watch that video, I will go ahead and link it for you. It will also be in the description box if you want to check that one out. I had so much fun making that last Moldavite video for you guys where I went through the energy shift with you of what that felt like to me and what I felt different stone combinations with Moldavite would be good for in your life, or different beneficial ways to use those energies to your advantage. And it turned out to be a much longer video than I meant it to be. I honestly meant it to be like 10 minutes long, and I still had a whole pile of crystals that I wanted to try out with Moldavite for you guys. So welcome to part 2. In the last video, I decided to use the same piece of Moldavite throughout the whole video so that I had a good baseline of energy. And then when I picked up each crystal, I saw how the energy moved and what kind of, where I felt it, what I felt, things like that. So I'm going to do the same thing today. It's almost a little bit hard choosing which piece of Moldavite I want to use, but this little guy is being insistent. He's a people person. He likes attention. He likes people watching. He likes being in the center. This Moldavite he gives me a lot of inspiration, especially when working with other crystals, like making crystal grids. If I have him on me, these weird ideas pop into my head. Crystals in grids together that I would have never thought of putting together. But when I do it, it's like this amazing energy experience. This is the one I think I'm going to use today. Now, the first crystal that we're going to use today, I picked because I remember a while ago experimenting with a few stones and Moldavite, because there's this certain book. It's the book that Robert Simmons wrote on Moldavite, and there's a section in that book where he takes Moldavite with different stones and does pretty much what we're doing here. He pairs it with the other stones and he talks about the energy of it. So there's a list in that book of stones that might be really cool to try with Moldavite. And I remember being interested in the idea of trying Moldavite with different stones. And I remember holding a couple of them that he talked about in the book. He did say that one of the most powerful ones with Moldavite was Fulgurite. And I tried it. I picked them up together and I don't remember exactly what I felt. Like, it's something I definitely want to experiment with again. But I remember not being super impressed with it at first. I don't remember what made me pick up Obsidian that day. It's when I was at work and I was working at a crystal shop, so there was just all these stones around me, and I picked up a piece of, it was a rainbow obsidian, and I remember just getting like the coolest experience with that. And I don't remember what it was. I didn't write it down anywhere, but that made me want to do Obsidian today with Moldavite. So I am going to try Obsidian and Moldavite together. So Obsidian and Moldavite, and we're gonna see what happens. So the first thing that I'm noticing with the Obsidian is, you know how sometimes when your heart starts beating really fast, you can feel it in a certain part of your body? Like you can actually feel the blood pumping against your skin. I kind of feel like that, kind of like everywhere. I feel like it's making my blood like push against my veins more. And especially behind my eyes, I'm feeling it, that kind of like pulsating. It's definitely also making me a little bit like out of breath. Like I feel like I need to take a lot of deep breaths. I feel like it's absolutely doing something. It's very like deep. There's like this deep seriousness about it, and I feel like it's kind of like a no nonsense healing type of thing going on. Like a grandfather energy, like this is the healing you need and this is what's happening. I know it's a little bit uncomfortable, but you just need to breathe through it right now and let us do our job. I feel like it's cleaning my aura a little bit. And the reason I say that is because it feels like, especially right here, like right on the back of my shoulder, I feel like this like sweeping motion almost. I feel something being cleared out of me. it feels quite nice. Like at first it was a little bit overwhelming and heavy and I didn't know quite where it was going to go, but that part of it has kind of like lifted a little bit, and now it just feels like cleaning house. So but there's like another whole layer to it too. It's just a serious energy. I don't feel sad, I don't feel mad, but I don't feel like giddy or hyper or uplifted or anything. I feel very serious. I feel like it did a little bit of like the spring cleaning thing, and now I feel like my heart chakra is like open. It's like opening, and I do feel serious, but I feel grateful and grounded and just this like safe elder energy around me. I don't know, it's weird. It's nice. I feel like this is another one, much like the Auralite 23 that I talked about in the other video. This would be a great combination to meditate with and go a lot deeper with, because I feel like there's a lot in there to learn. So we're actually doing a few dark stones today. The next one I'm going to do is Nuummite. Nuummite is, I've heard it be called the oldest mineral on Earth. It's supposed to be like 4 billion years old. It comes from one place, I believe it's in Greenland, and it's a black stone, so it's grounding and it's protective, but it's like so much more than that. They call it the sorcerer stone. It's a lot about like embracing your own power and your own magic and things like that. So there's a lot to this stone, and I'm really excited to see what it does with the Moldavite. Here is a piece of Nuummite right here. I say a lot of weird stuff to you guys sometimes. And I think it's so important to be yourself so that other people know that it's safe for them to be themselves. And you have to start by showing that example. So immediately when I picked this combination up, I found myself inside of a cave, and I got an image of a black mask. A black mask that only covers around the eyes. I didn't see a person behind the mask. I just saw an image of a mask, and I was inside of a cave. And it was a cave near water, and all of a sudden, like I was in there for a minute, and then all of a sudden I just got this feeling that I was being watched. Yes, I'm talking about crystals, and yes, I sound nuts. This is what I'm here for. And the only place physically that I feel this one is right on the back of my neck, like the lower back of my neck right here. Just a really fast like fluttering right there. And that's physically the only place where I feel any energy right now. It's different. I've got to be honest, so far this is not as exciting as that other video, which is so disappointing. So let's move on to Labradorite. Labradorite's just fun. I like it. When I was going around picking up crystals for these videos, I saw this one and I had to grab it. I love it so much. And this is such a beautiful piece. See the flash on there? Oh yeah. So we're gonna do Labradorite and Moldavite together and see what happens. Ooh. This one has more energy, much more physical energy. I don't know how to describe that, but that's what it's making my body do. If this is like super foreign to you and you have no idea what I'm talking about with feeling crystal energies, I actually made a whole video on this, trying my hardest to break it down and explain it to people so that you can realize you might be feeling something, you just didn't know that's what people are talking about when they say they feel energy. This is a very like playful combination to me. I feel very light and kind of like childlike. Nothing too heavy is on my mind. I don't feel like working necessarily, but I don't feel like meditating at all. I just feel like, honestly, I feel like going outside and laying in the grass and laying in the sun and just being. It's just happy and uplifting, and the area in my body where I'm feeling this is the very back of my head, and it feels like someone's slowly doing this just right here in the back of my head, like an inch above my hairline. That's where I'm feeling it for whatever reason. Like, I don't want to meditate with it, but I'm finding myself like listening. like I'm holding it and I'm just being very still, and I even like found myself like reaching like this, like I'm listening. I don't know what I'm listening to. I don't know what I'm listening for. There is a very high pitch, and it's only in this ear. Don't ask. One of my spirit guides likes to tickle me. It's a very like giggly, childlike energy, and I feel like it's bringing that in all different sorts of ways. Like I'm feeling it inside, but also like I just feel it all around me. So this is a very like uplifting combination. And because it's not steering me too hard in any certain direction, I feel like this would be a combination that would be really cool to wear all day long or carry all day long. Just because it's like a happy essence. And so I feel like you're going to get the best of, I feel like you're going to get all of the best properties of both without either one of them like being too intense for you. And I don't want to say that the Labradorite is calming the Moldavite down, but it's just like playing with it so well that it's more like, it's just such a perfectly balanced energy. That's what it feels like to me. Playful, light, and balanced. I feel like this would be a great combination for someone new to wear or carry too. Maybe with the addition of a grounding stone, if it is still too much. I can't tell because it's not super like high vibe to me, but it is, there's something there playing with the energy and bringing it a little bit more, but it's just, it's a balance, it's very balancing. I think that this is a great little combination, and just on a day where I feel like I need to like a little mood lift, I might try this one out. Okay, I really wanted to try this one with Danburite. Danburite is like the tagline that I think of when I think of Danburite is let your light shine. It's about like letting your own natural gifts come to light kind of and be yourself. And Danburite is just beautiful. It always has this one like really long face. It's a little bit reminiscent of the long face on a Lemurian, but the rest of it is set up very differently. So that is a piece of Danburite that I have. And I find it to be a pretty high vibrational stone on its own, and it's supposed to be great for channeling. So I'm really interested to see what happens here. Trying Danburite and Moldavite. Instant headache right here. Instant lightheadedness too. So like headache, and then it just moved to lightheadedness. When I just moved my head, I got very it's another one that's making me like deep breathe. It's making me out of breath a little bit. It's which makes me think that it's taking this very high. It's a very like high vibration combo. It's almost a little bit uncomfortable for me, and you guys know I love high vibration stones and all of that stuff, but this is, it's a lot. I almost want to put it down, and that's me. Oh, I don't know how to describe this one. It's not a bad feeling, it's just almost an overwhelming feeling. I feel it physically everywhere in strange ways. I feel like I want to crack my whole body, but also I don't want to move too much because every time I do, I get more lightheaded and dizzy. It's just, it's interesting. It's the slightest bit uncomfortable with the dizziness because I don't like that at all, but this was a lot. It's a lot of energy, and it's mostly uncomfortable right now. I will say though that a lot of times when you first start something, whether it be an individual crystal or a combination of crystals, sometimes it can be uncomfortable. Moldavite, a lot of the times when you first get it, can be very uncomfortable. People get headaches and things like that. And I think a lot of the times it's because, I'll pick these back up. Oh, something else just came to me. Okay. And I think a lot of the time, I have to put these back down. What was I saying? Oh my gosh. Oh, the pain, the uncomfortableness. I think that a lot of times it's because it's like pushing something through you or pushing something out of you or pushing you to change something about yourself to make yourself better. It's like a change has to be made. And sometimes change can be a little bit uncomfortable, but if you get through the discomfort, you're going to end up in a much better place. So I think a lot of the times crystals do that. And so that being said, if it's very uncomfortable in the beginning and it's working with you, then you are eventually going to get used to it, slash it's going to get you to a place where it doesn't have to push you anymore, things like that. So even if you don't like something right away, maybe sit with it a little bit and see if you get used to it, or if it actually does like help push something out of you or fix something in you or something like that, and then it won't be uncomfortable anymore. Another thing is, another reason it might be so uncomfortable is because Danburite is supposed to be really good for helping you channel and things like that. So if it's opening up a gift that you have, I've heard numerous times that when gifts actually start opening up, it can be very painful. So it could be a little bit of discomfort for something like that also, which is kind of along the same baseline though of it's just making you better, right? So it's an interesting combination. I don't know if I would um, be pulled to work with this one a lot, but I think that it would probably benefit me to work with it a little bit sometimes. We'll see what happens. I think we need to take a nice little palette cleanser, and I'm just curious on what Rhodocrosite and Moldavite do together. This is a piece of Rhodocrosite that I have here, and I just want to see what happens. I'm thinking it might be a lot like the rose quartz, but no expectations. Happy. It's happy. This one's definitely a happy combination. It's lighthearted and it's not, I feel like it is calming the Moldavite down a little bit. I definitely feel this in my heart chakra. And see, this is what I was expecting with the rose quartz that I did in the other video. But this one, I definitely feel my heart chakra like expanding a little bit. And it's almost not painful, but I can, like, I feel real energy there. I physically feel it right there. And it's just like light, happy, positive, but it's not doing a lot. It's something that I feel like you could put in your pocket and all day long you're not going to be thinking about it, but it might just improve on your day a little bit, put a little spring in your step. It's like a very optimistic energy. I find myself kind of like daydreaming a little bit and just thinking about the things that I want. So this is very much a combination that is just like supportive and happy and uplifting. And I feel that the Rhodocrosite does calm down the Moldavite a little bit for people that feel like they need that. So this might be a great combination for you to try. So after that, let's just jump right into Phenacite. Phenacite is said to be the highest vibration crystal that there is. It's a very small piece, but it's still very powerful. This thing is very, very, very high vibrational. Holding this by itself right now, just showing it to you, I have the sharpest pain in my head over here. It's just a very powerful stone. I'm gonna put it down for a second and pick them both up together. Whoosh. It's like an instant whoosh of something. I don't know yet because I started talking. This is definitely the craziest combination that I have picked up. I feel like when you're on a roller coaster and you're just going so fast. I feel like that, especially when I close my eyes and I'm holding them. I feel like all this power of a roller coaster just behind me. So I feel that, but then at the same time, with my eyes closed, I start seeing all these weird shapes. It's like I'm physically feeling things, I'm mentally seeing things. There's a lot going on with this combination. My heartbeat is like so fast, so weird. So weird. So at first it was very like fast and physical, and then all of a sudden it got quieter and like introspective. It's weird because I feel strangely like grounded and centered, but I know that I'm not grounded at all. But physically, I feel grounded and centered, but my head is going crazy. And it's almost like the only reason my head can be that crazy and fast right now is because my body is feeling so steady. It's weird. I wouldn't have expected that at all from such a high vibration combination to feel grounded. even with my eyes open, I'm seeing weird stuff. I think that the phenacite definitely ups the mystical parts of the moldavite. It's like it's almost like the phenacite is turning on different parts of the moldavite. And you know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, I remember in another video that I was doing where I was talking about putting phenacite with other crystals actually changes. Interesting. I made a whole video about high vibration crystals. I think it was my 5 favorite high vibration crystals. I'll link that for you guys. And in there, I talk about pairing phenacite with things and how it actually changes. Interesting. This is so, I can't even tell you how much time I'm gonna have to edit out of this because I find myself just sitting and I'm just like staring out of the window. I'm staring around the room because, like I said, my body feels very like still, but my mind is going crazy. So it's like, it's so weird because you would think that with all this energy, I would just be like buzzing all over the place and like running around like some of the other crystals gave me so much physical energy. But this is just like mental energy. It's like I want to sit still so I can think about all these things. I feel like I could spend a whole day just zoning out to this. Okay, Fulgurite is something that is formed when lightning hits sand, and it makes this like hollow tube, and a lot of fulgurites you can actually like see through. This one, I can't quite see through, but there is a small hole at each end, and it's an interesting energy by itself. It feels very like mystical to me when I hold it, and I remember when I first got it having a very strong reaction to it. Since then I haven't really worked with it, so I just thought it would be really interesting to pair with the moldavite and see what happens. So we're gonna do fulgurite and moldavite. Immediately I'm like out of breath in a very uncomfortable way. I don't like it. I don't like it. But I'm gonna hold on to it all in the name of research for you guys. Oh, I just find myself wanting to do this. Why am I'm feeling it in my shoulder. I feel very uncomfortable. Oh my god, I don't like it. I don't like it. Stop. All right, I'm gonna switch hands. Ugh. Not as bad. I still feel it in this shoulder. It's weird. Hold it in this hand. You know, this is a strange one. Internally, in my head, I feel like I'm like shaking my head back and forth and my hair is going crazy and I'm just like losing it. It's an intense feeling, and I guess that makes sense because the fulgurite comes from lightning hitting. That's intense. And moldavite comes from a meteor hitting. That's intense. So both of these are very like action-packed, fiery, intense change type of things, and I feel like that's what I'm feeling, and that's why it was so uncomfortable at first. It's gone away now, but I wonder if I put it back in this hand. I don't like that at all. That's so weird. It's very intense, and I feel like, and this is just purely intuitively, I feel like if you're looking for change in your life, like moldavite already brings so much change, but I feel like the fulgurite might accelerate it because they both come from that same energy, and it's both like destructive energy but creating something new. There's a lot of like power, fire, action. The longer I sit with it though, I'm appreciating it. I feel like I just encountered a monster, and after a few minutes the monster is letting me like pet it. That's exactly how I feel right now. This is definitely something that is worth trying out, but it's intense. Okay, I really want to try moldavite with petalite. Petalite is a very high vibrational crystal. It reminds me in structure and in feeling a lot of phenacite, but is much less expensive. And it's just, the energy is a little bit different, but they're very comparable, I think. This is what Petalite looks like. And we're gonna try Petalite and Moldavite together. This is another one that's giving me a lot of like high-pitched ringing in my ears. Petalite is a high vibrational stone, so I was expecting to feel something more along those lines. However, I'm feeling very like safe and comforted, kind of like I'm being rocked or like I'm in a hammock or something. And it's a very comforting feeling. And I'm physically feeling it a little bit everywhere, but especially on this side of my body, like, well, I'm holding it on this side of my body, so let's change it. And then I feel it over here. So yeah, it's like a, it's like someone, it's like, it feels like it's trying to calm me down. Not that I need calmed down, but maybe it's trying to calm the Moldavite down. That's how it feels. Like this is just... That's what it feels like. That is what this feels like. And that's the only way I know how to describe it. It's comforting and soothing, but it also makes me want to smile. So it's like uplifting. And I feel like for those people who want to experience Moldavite, but it feels like a lot to them and they do want to calm it down a little bit, this is another one that I feel like would help you get the benefits from the Moldavite, but still not be like overwhelmed. I think that this would be a great choice for that. It's a very lovely combination, and it just makes me feel like happy and safe. And because it's green, I think that's why I picked this emerald up. I really love emeralds. They're super healing. They're so good for the heart chakra. And Moldavite is so healing and it's so good for the heart chakra. I thought it would be really interesting to try them together. We are going to try emerald and Moldavite together. Ha! That's what... Ha! Wow, this is something. It is something. These are very happy together. Can I just say they're like best friends already. They understand each other, they understand how each other works and what they're trying to do, so they're very excited to do it together. I feel like this zigzagging energy all over my body. Like they're on the same page, so it's like they're doing the same things. I feel happy. I also feel a little bit spacey. I don't know why. I feel like this combination is more about a physical healing than anything else. Yeah, because I feel like they're just like running all over my body together, just like fixing things and healing things and opening up energy blockages, and just they're like working together, and they're not really interested in having me as part of the equation. So they're just like leaving me alone and they're just doing their job. That's how I feel about this combination. But it's nice, and I feel like this is a super helpful healing combination when you feel like you need healing. All right, the only other stone I have sitting over here is a tiny little black kyanite fan. Black kyanite is great for cutting cords if you have like energy cords with somebody else. And the kyanites are very good for your third eye chakra usually, especially the blue one, but I've also had people recommend the black one to me for that. So we're gonna try out Moldavite and black kyanite together. This combination is making me want to physically move. It's making me want to dance, and it's like playful, but more adult than the Labradorite playful was. My ears are actually popping, like not ringing, they're popping, like when you're on an airplane. That could have something to do with the fact that I'm sick, if you can't tell. I feel like it's more than that though. It is the crystals. I'm feeling it up here right now, and it feels like kind of like a pooling on the third eye. So I almost feel like in this instance, the Moldavite is making the properties of the black kyanite stronger. So I do feel like it's very third eye chakra, but it's definitely like crown chakra as well. It's definitely feeling like a very high vibration combination together, and it is honestly like throwing me off a little bit. So this one, I feel like this one would be interesting this would be an interesting combination to carry around all day and see what happens. I feel like it could go a couple of different ways, but I feel like if anything, it would make you a lot more observant during the day. I feel like maybe you would get some like intuitive knowings popping into your head because it is so crown chakra, third eye chakra. It's almost like carrying it around, you would be able to see through the day and see through what everyone is doing and what's happening and seeing like more of the big picture of the whole thing. That's just the feeling I'm getting with it. But it also could make you feel a little bit ungrounded during the day. So that's just something to think about if you have to be a real person during the day. It's interesting. This is definitely one that I would pick up again just because I'm intrigued by the way that I feel and I want to sit with it like so much longer and see what happens. It's a nice little combination. I like it a lot. So those are all the crystals that I had sitting over here that I wanted to try out with Moldavite. I hope you guys really enjoyed these videos. And again, if you have a favorite that I have not talked about, please tell me down below. I am always looking to expand my Moldavite experiences. So if you have a recommendation, please let me know. I would love to get another crystal and try it out with the Moldavite. And I just love hearing all of your experiences with it. So thank you so much for joining me today, everyone. I hope you have such a great day, and I will see you all next time.